Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to avoid scams and slowdowns in your job search. What I mean is this: how do you avoid scams? So, positions that are not real, in individuals who will take your information because they're pretending to have a job or be hiring, but will take your information and use it for a less than good purpose. And then also positions that you'll never get that seem to never be hiring. They're always posted and they just seem to waste your time. So, we're talking about both of those things today. I've been asked about both of those issues, and really both of these things can be quite dangerous. Scams, obviously, because by providing your personal information to the wrong sort of people, you can put yourself at all kinds of risks. And also the other types of positions, the ones I was just mentioning, because they're a huge time suck. It's amazing how many people that I've talked to who have applied for hundreds of jobs and they've never heard anything back because they're applying to these positions that really just seem to take your information and put it in a black hole. So, how can we avoid those? That's the subject of today's video. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is to start with a company and not a job search site. And I know that sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but my clients have the most success when they start with doing some research, identifying companies that they would like to work for, and then going on to step two, which is following the company on LinkedIn, starting to connect with people at the company, have conversations, and be persistent. Apply to positions that are on the company's website, not necessarily on LinkedIn or Indeed or Glassdoor, and really try to build a network at the company. So, how can you do that research? How can you find out if the a company that you would want to apply for? Well, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Salary.com, all of those are great places where you can do company research. You can start by looking up different companies that you might like to work for, and then look at the similar side, the similar companies that come up. ChatGPT is a really good resource for this. Also, you could say, like, can you give me examples of companies that are like Deloitte, for example? And really start just following those companies, doing the research into the companies, looking at the company's newsletters, connecting with people from the company, and applying on the company's website for those positions. What that's going to do is it's number one, going to make sure that your application gets through the stack a lot faster. But number two, it's going to position you for the potential of an internal referral. Then the third thing that you can do is use the job search sites if you know to do your research to find out what kinds of jobs are out there, to find out what kinds of titles you might be looking for on the company websites, to find out what these jobs are paying, and primarily get that information from the different job search websites. Now, if you do happen to find a job that you're interested in applying for on the job search website, just go to the company website and apply there. If you are in the unique situation where you can't find the job on the company website at all, then you have to apply on something like Indeed or LinkedIn. Go ahead and do that, but then follow step number two again. So where you're still doing that connecting with the company there on LinkedIn. Um, and that's really the thing that is going to set you apart. It does take a little bit more time, but that time is spent more effectively than just sending your resume out to nowhere. Now, let's talk a little bit about scams. Scams are jobs that really just don't exist. They are there because somebody put that information up there to try to get your information and potentially scam you out of some money in some kind of way. Scam jobs are too good to be true. First of all, you're not going to find any information about them anywhere. So you always want to research a company before you apply. LinkedIn is a great place to do research. The company should have a website. The company should have a LinkedIn profile. There should be more than one or two people following a LinkedIn profile, unless it's a very, very, very small local company. And of course, then you can do your research by actually calling or going to the location. Um, Scams are too good to be true. So instead of actually telling you what you need to have, they're going to talk about how you don't need any kind of training and you don't need any kind of experience, and it's easy and it pays tons of money. And of course, they're going to ask you for a lot of information up front. So that's just a really quick overview of how to avoid scams and slowdowns in your job search. If you've got more questions, you can always feel free to give me a call, send me a text, and I would love to talk with you more about it.